actual air hentai.
Alrighty. Oh, no. Welcome back to another episode of The 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story will be streamed live at Sundays around 6 here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session or weren't in the last session, check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description. We'll go ahead and get started off here.
It's the first thing on the screen.
It's the first thing. Like, it's perfect timing.
Last week.
Last week, our resident rabble rousers incited the tavern throwdown and was immediately thrown across the barroom. Jasira rushed forward with a knockout punch straight into the face of Etienne Larocque, one of the Crimson Haze pirates. The entire room burst into chaos as Roland stuffed their items into Boko's bag of holding, and Clyde cast invisibility on him, leaving Clyde out in the open but allowing Roland to snag a large scroll and 7 whole silver sovereigns off some pirates. Cade dropped some rain, making it a wet and wild time before Tiago grabbing a hanging silk and swung them both into the taproom floor. The Crimson Haze pirates gathered together and began to throw blows against Jasira, Theschault, and Clyde as Sindri battled a few drunken sailors. The other Larocque brother approached with a bit more lethal intention, but was stopped by the heavy blue hand of Magnus, the Beast of Caed Nua, who ended the brawl very decisively. Perhaps piracy does pay. At least it is good to have friends in high places. After the skirmish, Tiago escorted the entire group towards the Azure Fox, weaving a tale of how the silks were spun from gemstones while Cade went to talk with the eccentric Captain Azalea Stormfae. Cade filled in the captain on their story, and the captain told her they must be off on an immediate excursion, but omitted any reason or rationale. The others agreed to accompany her, why I have the slightest idea, and made the journey to the far end of the city, to a place called the Nest. An old friend of the captain's, One-Eyed Willie, introduced them to his craft, the Steel Condor, and they set out across the skies. The journey was straight into the grey tide where visions and mist-like monsters hampered their minds, but eventually they passed through to the center where a massive archgate was spilling the mist out across the sea. Where in the world are our pirates party headed? Why is the captain so insistent on this journey? And how did Willie lose his eyes? Let's tune in and find out.
So when we had, it is what it is.
It was perfect.
When we had last left off, you all were within the Steel Condor, this floating hot air balloon on steroids, and had just made it through this thick mist of the gray tide, and had passed into an area where the mist had dampened slightly, and where it was spilling out of this massive gate that rose out of the ocean, standing hundreds of feet tall, made of these large stone pillars, and the deep gray mist just spilling out of the center. Currently, the Steel Condor is headed directly towards this open arch.
Do any of us know what the hell that is?
If anyone would like to, they can roll a history or arcana check.
I have good modifiers in those. Let me fail real quick here.
What? Yeah, what is this?
Neither of those are my expertise.
Oh, slightly above average.
Can I?
Nice. You know what that is. You read a book about a thing.
You just spent all your luck in one roll, David. that was what it was. That's it for the night.
Oh, man. Cue to fucking 2 hours from now, mid-combat.
One.
DM, can I roll, but instead of targeting the gate, can I target the mist?
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think that was supposed to be an advantage.
Okay. We'll start with Boko first, as we didn't get to him on the last session. But Boko, as you look across this area here, the feeling and the ominous presence of the mist around you carries the same heavy weight as that present within the Mournland. It is thick with some sort of potential and presence that denotes a power or a something behind it. With the Mournland, there is the sorrow, there is the loss, there is the death related to all of the entire country being consumed. With this, there is something different, but equivalent. The visions that you all have been experiencing, it is akin to things that occur within the Mournland, but at the same time, it seems to manifest in ways that are much more tied to the individual rather than just these ominous manifestations. And though you don't have any direct tie to it, you do know that this is something far older and more natural that aligns to many common myths and legends about mist and about just general natural occurrences, whereas the Mournland itself aligns with newer magical manifestation of the world. So whatever this is, you feel and sense more than know that it is old and that it is rooted with the natural core of the world that you're upon. Clyde,
I don't think that makes it any less scary, though.
No. It's spooky. It's not scary. It's spooky mist, not scary. It just wants to reach out and just make you like jump. Fine.
Boko is afraid of it.
That Clyde almost shot it last session.
For Clyde and Cade, you both can recall numerous stories and histories and myths and legends about the Grey Tide. Cade, you have dozens of pirate stories. Clyde, there are numerous stories and songs and poems about the Grey Tide and the ominous that is there and the numerous sailors and ships who have been lost, never to be seen again. It is heavily indicated to be haunted and ominous and spooky, and don't go there. This is the Bermuda Triangle of Eberron.
This happens every time Clyde gets into a drunken bar fight.
But what is notable is that none of them, of the numerous stories that you both are familiar of, none of them mention any sort of stone arch like what you're looking at. And at that point, Roland, kind of dissociating the mist itself and focusing on what you can see through, there is this illumination. This tying back.
There's where Roland's strength comes from, disassociation.
But there's this moment where you're kind of blending out everything that is meant to obfuscate and focusing in on just a story, a journal that you had parsed through and almost forgotten, but someone who had described what they claimed to be passing into another world, where they had gone through some sort of portal, for lack of a better term. This, in their case, it was the branches between trees, but where they had gone from the darkened night of the material plane, they had stepped through and found themselves in a world of mystical wonder. And that experience, that stepping through, that finding a place that is completely different, not only in flora and fauna, but also in time of day, in atmosphere. You are looking through this and you can see bright blue of a vibrant sky on the other side, whereas it is a dark gray of the mist around here. And you, for this moment, tie these two together, and this feels eerily similar in the way that he's describing it to what you're seeing. They don't seem to be the same place, perhaps, but this seems to be some sort of gate to somewhere else. And where that is, you're not entirely certain, but you do tie this closely to what you know of planar travel.
Captain, what the hell is that?
At that point, the captain, who's kind of still been reading through, kind of closes her book and sits up. Oh, are we there yet? She looks out the window of the Condor. Ah, wonderful job. Willie, if you could take us through the gate. And
Through the gate to where?
One-Eyed Willie kind of nods and continues along his path. Well, I'm sure you all will see soon enough, but we are headed a bit far away and a bit close at home all at the same time. What we are passing
Vague and
through-
unhelpful.
That would be the captain.
Don't be derivative, dear. It's unseemly. What we are passing through...
And Cade has to fight rolling her eyes.
What we are about to pass through, or now passing through, as she begins to talk, the condor itself begins to pass through the first of these large stone pillars, is at the center of what is known as a manifest zone, a place where another plane intersects that of this material plane, manifesting in normally some sort of gate or portal, oftentimes not as large as this particular one, but all the same giving us access to somewhere usually inaccessible. In this case, and as she begins to finish, you all find yourself passing through that final pillar and looking around, and she says, in this case, I welcome you all to Serania, a plane of elemental air. And as you gaze from left to right, you look around and see this bright blue sky. These large pieces of rock hovering in air with no foreseeable ground. Waterfalls that just cascade off the side of the rock and fall through the skies. Clouds that float to your left and right and massive offshoots of green forests. Birds that fly by from one of these floating islands to another, and just an extending, open, bright sky.
Finally, something that doesn't look horrifying. Can we go there? We're going there, right?
Our journey takes us to a nearby town. Old Titan will be there shortly.
I'm sorry, I'm catching like 20% of what Austin is saying. Is there any, like, I have like...
Sorry,
is there any way to
that
turn
better?
up the volume somewhere?
Yep, I always forget to bump it up at the start.
Yeah. Okay, that's better. Like, I missed a good amount of what you were saying previously. Sorry.
Can you send the spelling of the primordial
Plane
name
of air.
for the elemental plane of air?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why Sindri isn't afraid of this place. He can fall just as fast here as he can in the ocean.
Yeah, and like geographically speaking, 70% of air is over water, so
But he can breathe. He can breathe here.
Sindri is not scared of the water, and he's not scared of falling. He's scared of the ocean because the current doesn't let him get out because he's too fat.
The body dysmorphia, got it.
But yes, as you all look around, it is stunning, shockingly beautiful, and something that is simultaneously incredibly
You said we're
disjointed.
traveling to a town. What kind of people live?
We won't be talking with people very much. The town itself is called Nyathala. It is but a pit stop on our way to Kallax.
What did she say? Where are we going?
She said you guys were going to Kallax. I'm going to assume by the slack-jawed expressions across all your faces that none of you have ever been to another elemental plane. Well, bring
Roland
it in.
is just taking it all in with both eyes open and unfortunately only one eye seeing.
There is a magnificent beauty to what you're experiencing.
Quick sound check. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, my phone Discord was being a butt.
As it loves to do.
Yeah. Cade will ask, you said we're visiting a town. What kind of people live here?
The people are inconsequential. It is just a short pit stop. We'll be picking up a new ride until we get to Kalex.
I don't know. I'd probably get a pretty different perspective living way out here.
There are a few humanoids who live out here.
It's a beautiful rock, and you can see the bottom of it. Most people can't see that. You have to do a lot of work to get to the bottom.
I suppose there's some truth.
Imagine how easy it is to mine here.
Yeah,
Do
but
they
if
have
you
a
go
mining
through,
ring?
if you keep mine too deep, you just fall forever.
I mean, hitting the ground's the bad part, so...
I thought you liked the ground.
Well, yes, but falling first makes it not as pleasant.
Boko has a question for the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And as he sort of looks, like peels his eyes off of the beautiful landscape, does the gate appear to be the similar or the same on this side, or is it a different manifestation?
It is. It's like looking into a mirror. It's another giant stone gate, and this one cascades down through the clouds and passes out. And you can see that those clouds themselves are spilling out through the gate, and where this side is bright and blue, the other side is a dark, deep gray.
Is there any water that's passing through? Does the tear extend down below the ocean?
It is the ocean did rise into the gate, but from here the clouds cover a similar area, and so it's difficult to see where the water actually comes. But there are numerous areas around you where water is kind of falling off of different floating islands and just falling through the air.
Then Boko will just turn to the captain and he'll say, "This gate, is it a transient sort of thing, or is it a permanent fixture of this area of the ocean?"
As far as I know, it seems to be permanent. It's been here since I was here last. I imagine it's been there for a lot longer than that.
Then this means there are others.
I know of a few, to be certain. And in the future, Mr. Boko, please remember to address me as ma'am or captain.
Boko just nods, sort of just lets that thought hang there.
As you all are slowly floating through this area, you see to the left and the right as the islands towards where this portal was begin to fade, and it opens out into wide open sky. There are a few floating rocks in the distance, some that almost seem to be chained together, and you just see their silhouettes across the clouds, and the clouds are thick here, weaving in and out and kind of hampering vision to see too far. But after a bit of time, eventually the clouds begin to part a bit, and you see some rocks piercing up through this bottom layer of cloud cover, and they seem to be covered in these dots of red and blue. As you get closer and looking through the sun in the sky, you can see that the red appears to be trees or foliage of some kind, and the blue, these roofs upon these scattered houses built across the top of these mountain peaks, bridges connecting from one to the other and spaced out due to the limited size. But there does appear to be a small town that is built here upon this area that is piercing through the clouds.
It was Nalathea, you said?
It is, yeah, Nyathala.
Nyathala.
before too long, as you all come closer and closer to this, Willie does position the Condor in a place where there seems to be a long extended wooden dock, almost like that for a ship. But the Condor does kind of come down to a rest near this, and this one is much wider. Not so much a thin plank to give space for ships, but a much wider wooden area to land. And as you come to rest, the Steel Condor kind of setting down, you look off to the left and right, and you can see these bright, large creatures, all winged, and most of them with some sort of saddle or carrying cargo. And they are of various sizes. Some look to be long and lizard-like with long hands and claws and thick kind of feathered tails and heavy woolen manes that extend up to teeth and a massive horn that kind of carves back across their head. Some that are much smaller, these kind of bird or griffin-like creatures with bright white and brown and blue feathers tipped with red. And still others that almost appear to be like a phoenix of some sort, with green and reds and blue wings that spread backwards, long eagle-like talons on their forefeet, and bird-like beaks that are surrounded by these bright, vibrant feathers. All of these creatures kind of poised on this. There are few to little actual flying devices, such as the one that you are in. But many of these creatures on this kind of air dock here.
You've gotten yourself in trouble, DM. Now I'm fully expecting like an isometric map with 3D ship encounters.
But as the Condor kind of sets down immediately, the captain kind of waves a finger and begins to step off, her shoes kind of clacking across the wood as she goes, and begins to head off. She kind of calls back over her shoulder, "I'm going to arrange some rides. Please all be ready to set off. Willie, get the Condor prepared for a reverse trip as quick as possible." And she begins to set off and kind of in a direction towards where a number of these creatures are kind of gathered around a few individuals. Is there anything that you all are doing in the meantime?
Boko's gonna look at Cade and go, "Do we know how long that captain is going to be gone?"
Likely not long. He seems to be in a bit of a hurry.
Then I will not stray too far.
Let's not stray at all, otherwise...
Get to one street.
Please.
I knew Roland would ride or die with me.
Yep, no, Roland wants to explore. This is something new that he has never seen before in his life.
Please don't.
I'm
I
already
need to suffer the
exploring
punishment.
That sounds even better. We won't even get in trouble. Let's go, guys.
Boko looks at Roland.
Clyde's gonna be writing down everything he sees. Sorry, I'm talking to my mom.
Boko's gonna look at Roland. His face is like dead flat, but there's like this sparkle of wonder in his eye, and he looks at Roland and goes, "Do you think they have sail bins here as well?"
You think they have what?
Sail bins?
Sail bins?
Like our thrift store finds?
Oh, sorry, I heard sail and I was in pirate mode, so I heard S-A-I-L.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Guys,
And so, one can only hope. And Roland will take off down the dock.
no. Cade's gonna run in front of them.
There's three of us.
I know. Guys,
Is Clyde going?
Clyde is writing down and kind of sticking to the edge right now, just kind of begins to write down in his journal the various things that he can see as he's kind of following back around you guys.
Guys, please, I'm begging you, do not wander off. Look, I really want to explore this place. I think this is absolutely fantastic, very cool. However, Captain is going to get very, very angry, and I, for one, don't really want to deal with it, so I'm kindly asking you to save my ass and stay here.
How about if we stay in sight of here so that you can wave at us and we'll come running back?
Or
No, because inevitably, Boko or Sindri is going to get distracted by something, and they're going to wander off even further and not be within sight.
Well, they can stay within sight of me, and then I'll stay within sight of you, and then you wave at me, I wave at them, and we all come running back.
It is not
And then
possible
the captain's already chewed me out for letting you wander. Please, guys, on the way back, I'll see if I can score us some time to explore the town. Please, on the way back, I'm begging you.
It should not be possible for us to leave your sight if you come with us.
I want to. Believe me, I do, but she will kill me, okay? I'm already in enough trouble as it is because I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on the continent. Please, on the way back, I promise I will attempt to get us time to stay here and explore on the way back. But please just stay on the dock. She's going to be back here in like 10 minutes, please. And like, Cade is like begging, like almost on her knees, begging, like, please just stay here.
Okay, I will stay, but you owe me one.
Yes,
Boko,
yes. Fair, that's
Boko
fine.
looks a little deflated, but he says, "Very well. I wanted to see the underside of the condor anyway."
Yes. Same here. We should speak over here.
As long as that here is pointing towards the condor.
Yes, it is definitely pointing towards the condor.
In the meantime, as this conversation has kind of happened and everyone has rushed off, Jasira, Willie has kind of been like standing there, again with that large condor bird on his shoulder, and he kind of just looks over at you, again with the two eye patches across his face. Bet you're wondering how I lost my eyes. My left I lost to a rabid pack of flying sea serpents.
That would happen, yes. Quite vicious, I'm sure.
Have you ever seen a flying sea serpent?
Can't say I have.
Can't say I ever will again.
She just kind of chuckles uncomfortably.
Clyde just chuckles. He loves Willie.
I love how go with the flow Jasira is. She's like, yeah, makes sense.
Seems legit.
I mean, she's seen weirder things, so, like, the entire time when everyone else was, like, gawking, she's just like, new area.
Just here,
It's
tell him
different.
saw a dragon.
A dragon?
Yeah. Better yet, ask him if he's seen a sky hentai. Bet he ain't never seen one of them.
Okay. Willie,
Hi.
have you seen a dragon? And she
Aye.
kind of like side eyes. She has her like mask on. She like side eyes towards Clyde. Or guy hentai.
I'm not sure what that is, but the dragon, of course. I've seen a couple in me day.
Tentacles in the air.
Tentacles in the air.
Yeah, that's kind of why we're all together. It's quite weird.
Well, I once saw a pack of flying sea serpents, and one of them I think was giving birth, so if you count the tails, you know, that might be something similar.
Many tails, yeah.
You know, like... Does that count? I think that counts.
Something like that.
You seen tentacles floating in the sky, then?
We did. I've also seen tentacles in the water.
Nope, yep. That tracks, that's much more familiar.
Yeah.
We were once on a voyage, and this kraken burst out of the water, wrapped around our boat, and nearly sank it. It was harrowing.
Nearly.
Nearly! We were reduced to a few pieces of raft.
At least you were able to float?
Well, more or less. Luckily, there's plenty of islands where you can get shipwrecked on. It's not too bad. Just lash a couple sea doodles together.
Or Willie never saw it coming.
Was that before you lost your eyes?
Aye.
Did he use his back hair to wrap the sea
I
turtle
was typing
together?
it, damn it!
So you did see it coming. I see.
I was literally going, lashed a couple of sea turtles. What did he use for rope?
Well.
Nah, Willie's a true pirate. He actually had rope with him.
I was in a library!
See, and by that logic, Jasira is also more of a pirate.
I have rope.
Oh, goodness. Anyway,
One requirement for a pirate. Do you have rope?
It's
No,
prerequisite.
you are no
You
pirate.
need rope.
Roland was
That was
there.
our original resume for joining the Pride of Dreadhold.
Yep.
Do any of you have rope? All right, you're in.
You're in. That's how we're going to get out of this
Ours
place.
on our bridge. That didn't go really well.
We need to assemble a crew. Do you have rope?
The bridge
You're
went
in.
really well.
For some.
Anyway, Roland, did you have something that you wanted to talk with Boko about?
Yes. Once we get out of earshot of the rest, kind of like examining the underworkings of the ship, he'll just kind of like lean in close and go, "So, Boko, we have a pie crust promise, easily made, easily broken, of on the way back we'll have time. What if we make sure we have time?"
What do you mean?
Well, this craft here is our way back through the portal, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's something with it that prevents it from working for, say, a week.
Boko looks at Roland and he goes, "To be honest, I did not think it would work in the first place."
So it should be simple.
Which side is Roland blind on?
The left.
Boko is standing on that side, like pretty consistently. And
Do you two slowly turn in a circle as you're
Yes.
talking to each other?
Yes,
As
we
you
do.
try?
We do, yes.
it gets to the point where
that's what-
Roland's like turning so his right eye faces me, and he gets to a point where he's got to turn his whole body, and I just keep like inching around.
Just this cute little dance.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out. I need a new line now on my description of impressions of people in my notes of whether or not I'm comfortable with them standing on my left side, and I don't think that Boko is quite there yet.
Just dancing at idle.
Yes.
You're just 20 feet away, slowly. Just, I guess they're having another moment.
If we get closer, we'll actually provide enough thrust for the ship to fly.
Boko is going to look at Roland and he says,
Roland will attempt to look at Boko.
it's difficult. Casually. But Boko will say, I think I understand what you are saying. I do not think Cade would appreciate if she found out.
And what she doesn't know won't hurt us.
But I do have plenty of tools. Perhaps I can be of some distraction to the captain and the others, and you may work your plan as you see fit.
Oh, no. The plan is you and I. The captain is already distracted finding our next ride.
No, really, the captain of the Condor.
He's going. Roland's going to cock an ear to him just prattling on to Jasira up on the deck and be like, I think Jasira has him distracted. What if we just wedge something in the rudder where he won't find it?
Yes, something that can be fixed in maybe a day or two. I don't think a week is appropriate.
Yes,
Man, we're gonna
something
fall out
he
the
won't
sky.
find, but we will know where it is, and we can fix it as soon as we get back and are done exploring.
I think he has a very intimate knowledge of this craft.
Then you'd best get familiar with the process, and he's going to start leading him back towards examining the workings of the ship to see if we can find something to sabotage that we can easily fix.
Okay. How are you guys trying
I'm
to do
standing on I'm standing on Roland's left side.
But you see, he doesn't have to look at you if he can physically touch you, so it's fine.
That's a compromise.
The entire trip until the mist was there, Boko would have been completely overwhelmed in trying to understand this contraption.
How does this thing fly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is it really powered by just one little...
And just for a reminder, the Condor itself is somewhat similar to like a hot air balloon, but with like a submarine underneath, and a bicycle seat out the front. So yeah, it is this massive conglomeration of wood and steel with this fan, this giant rudder that kind of sticks out the bottom, and all of it is lashed and tied together with different pulleys and ropes and rudders, and on the front is the seat where Willie was sitting and pedaling the thing, and it has a few flags as well as a small little contraption of half spheres that kind of spins as the wind passes through it, and some handlebars. There are large ropes and pulleys that actually hold the heavy canvas balloon to the craft. There are a couple of glass and iron portals on the top to see through, and then there are open windows and a door that kind of drops down. And then on the very back, there is this completely metal sphere, and within that was some sort of fire that never went out and just kind of belched black smoke out the back.
Thing is a beautiful, beautiful hunk of junk.
Garbage will do.
I'm furiously going through my inventory and seeing if I have anything.
You have a 10-foot long silver pole that we could like wedge up in a gear.
How is that? How are you gonna hide that? Yeah. I'm not there, but just me.
We'll duct tape it to the rudder.
You know what?
Is there anything spinning very fast near us?
Yeah, there's that small contraption at the front. As the wind is coming, it's kind of picking up these half spheres and kind of spinning it around. And it's all the way at the tip underneath a couple flags, or above a couple flags.
This is right where Willie's
sitting
station is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Boko is going to look at Roland and he says, "Perhaps you can jam something in there." And he's going to hand Roland his old shirt. Roland's shirt.
Oh, make him incriminate himself.
It is going to require you to become invisible, though, I think.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, involve more people.
How did you...
Looks down, am I still wearing my shirt?
This is the one that I won when we played Liar's Dice.
I thought I asked you for that one back.
I think you just gave up and got a new one. But I don't remember, to be honest.
We'll roll with that, it's funnier.
Yeah. I have plenty of other shirts, I think. I have them in my inventory.
This one was special.
Did Clyde get his back?
Oh, absolutely. Clyde asked afterwards, like, Boko, hey.
I have Quinn's and Lydia's still.
Yeah, I don't think she ever asked for hers back.
And then one other bar patron. Unnamed bar patron number one.
Oh, he's gonna go home. His wife is gonna be so pissed. Third shirt this week.
And as Boko and Roland are kind of looking at this, Jasira and Clyde are kind of talking to Willie for a bit. Cade and Sindri, what are you two doing as you were kind of caught between the captain and the Steel Condor itself?
Cade is having a nervous breakdown a little bit of like keeping a paranoid eye on people because
she doesn't want to get in any more trouble. Like, this is... Cade's normally, like, a little more calm, cool, and collected, but this time, like, Cade's turned into, like, a nervous wreck around the captain, and you're just... And she's just constantly, like, keeping an eye, like, making sure Boko and Sindri are within line of sight.
Sindri is going to be next to Cade, like, patting her on the back. It's gonna be okay. If he tries to kill you, we can just stay on land forever and never go back to the sea. That's not so bad, right?
If who tries to kill you?
I think Sindri's just looking for an excuse to stay here. The first sign of violence, we can just live here.
We can just live on the land. Stay away from the water. That's the only reason he can think of is why Cade is nervous. So someone is trying to kill her. Probably something to do with people in the water. And so obviously...
aired. Something's trying to kill Cade. The ocean's trying to kill Cade.
Yes.
Sindri, with all hope, we should be on the continent within the next month.
When we first met, it was like a week. So we're already doing well.
You know, if a giant flying tentacle monster hadn't come out of the sky and crashed our boat, we would have been fine.
Amen, Clyde says from the front of the ship.
I would give you a pass if that was a rare occurrence, but I've been on like 3 boats and all have been attacked by tentacle monsters.
I'm starting to think that you are bad luck. That Earth should never be on a ship, because you just seem to you attract trouble.
I think you sea creatures have short-term memory about how often you get attacked by tentacle monsters.
I have lived on the sea my entire life, and I can honestly tell you I have been attacked by more tentacle monsters since knowing you than I ever have in the rest of my life.
See? Short-term memory. Weird. It's so common as a procedure when you're attacked by tentacle monsters that the other ship didn't follow. I listen. I know what's going on.
And Cade's just like, I won't take you on a boat again, Sindri, okay? You know, after we get to the continent, I will just never take you on a boat again. Does that sound nice? Oh, can you say that one more time?
That sounds very nice, yes.
And it's about that time that you hear the captain's voice kind of call out, Cascade, come on, we've got these. And she has on a leash a handful of these large bird-like beast creatures with heavy bear-like forearms and bird-like back legs with feathers of white and brown and blue, long beaks on these wide owl-like faces, and these tiny tufts of blue ears and kind of these antenna of blue that fades to red, and they are large creatures, each of them with a saddle. And as she brings them, she begins to bring them over to you all, kind of picking arriving at Cade and Sindri first. Can you gather all of your companions?
Cade does the finger whistle thing to get everyone's attention.
Yeah, and she hands you like 4 of these leads, and then hands one to Sindri. And Sindri, this beast is probably 6 or 7 times the size of you currently.
Is it a threat?
Is it?
It looks very cute and cuddly, actually, in a very very intense way.
How tall is it?
A snoot.
Think of it roughly horse size and then slightly larger.
Okay.
So a Clydesdale?
Does this have like a harness on it, or like?
Clydesdale, but built like a bear.
Yeah, exactly. The front half is built like a bear, and then it fades into the back half that is more like eagle hippogriff style with like the eagle legs. And it does have like a wide saddle upon the middle section, with stirrups, and then it has these kind of reins, and they don't go through the mouth. They're kind of attached on the back of the head, right next to where these antennas seem to kind of poke out of the head.
Sindri is going to pet its leg. Oh, you're pretty. Are these our new pets?
Roll me an animal handling
They eat
check,
a lot.
Sindri.
How long was the captain gone?
Like 10, 12 minutes, maybe?
Damn.
We can execute. That's a plan we can execute as soon as we get back and go. Oh no, it's broken. We're gonna go explore the town.
We're gonna get back, and Willie's gonna be in the town.
Just roll it to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
I'm rolling on Helene's computer. It's wisdom, so it'll be a 19.
Okay, yeah, you give kind of a pet to this creature as you kind of come up to it, and immediately you can sense that it is well trained, but kind of comes over and turns to you, and it has these very intense, wise, kind of brown-black eyes that kind of stare at you, and it gives you kind of a slight nuzzle into your hand, noting its kind of response to your affection.
This will be fun. I missed some of the description. Is this a flying creature?
Yes, it has large wings on either side.
Bear bird.
Yep.
Okay. This could be fun.
A baird, if you will.
Do these things get armor? Can we make them armor? Would you like some armor? You would look so much more intimidating covered in metal.
We're gonna armor this flying beast full steel. Okay, now it's just a beast, but it's fully armored.
Yes. Sindri is just under the impression flying is magic, so it doesn't matter.
It's magic.
Close enough.
Yeah. So Cade does like the finger whistle thing and kind of like waves everyone over.
Clyde is just gonna look up and up. I drive a wagon because I can't ride for shit. How the fuck?
And as each of you are given one of these creatures and kind of moved over to the edge, the captain kind of hops up into the saddle of hers and kind of gives you all a finger, then gives a whistle and kind of clicks her heels into the creature as it rushes off the edge of the dock and kind of jumps up into the sky and begins to head out, wings outstretched. Yeah.
Which finger does the captain give us?
Captain goes.
It's kind of a beckoning move.
Oh, she does this. Sorry.
Anyway,
Yeah,
you
Roland
all
is gonna step up towards his mount and just like edging up closer to it and sorry, wrong side. Right side, because that's where you can see. And just like tentatively hold out a hand. And he doesn't know to like angle the hand this way instead of this way in order to avoid getting the fingers nipped.
go ahead and make an animal handling check.
And Clyde's gonna go up to his. All right, you great
I'm
big
better with
beastie.
machines.
We're just gonna be real friendly and it'll be okay.
Roland, you kind of come up to this thing and kind of hold out a hand, and it is very well trained. It kind of moves and shifts to the side to open up its saddle for you to step into.
Just to clarify, is there one for all of us, or do one set of people need to double up?
No, there is one for each of you.
Okay, yeah. So Cade just starts handing out flying bear birds.
Yeah,
Does anyone want to double up instead of taking their own?
we'll see. We'll see if this thing bucks Clyde.
Nah, I think Jasira's taking the risk.
Clyde can have Sindri. We're like one person anyways together.
Yeah, I'm down.
Now Clyde's gonna try and get up in it. He's a terrible rider. He drives a wagon for a reason.
I mean, that's animal handling. There's something pulling the wagon.
Nicholas, you said that and I got an idea. If we bought a trench coat for you and Clyde, you'd be the ultimate machine. Clyde would be the face, and you could punch anything that he couldn't manipulate.
The perfect crotch punch.
Oh.
Yes.
Crotch shot. Shake your hand while getting punched.
Oh man, next person to fucking try and gut Clyde is gonna stab Sindri right in the eye.
We need a trench coat. That's all I'm saying.
This is doable. I'm sure we can find a trench coat.
The captain kind of
Or just
spins
borrow from
around
a
over the
large
top of the
person's
dock
chain,
and calls out to you all. Are you all coming?
I hope so. Clyde's gonna try and get on this big.
Get upon your
Does he need a
Unsati
boot?
and jump off the edge. It's not that difficult.
Sindri yells charge after he climbs up.
Immediately, this creature that the captain refers to as an Usati kind of lumbers across and then hops off the edge of the dock and kind of stretches out its wings and soars into the sky. Sindri, you kind of are cut off and then kind of immediately rush forward as the captain kind of loops around and goes with you. Each of you...
Sindri is like holding onto the harness, but his body is like off of it.
Is anyone doing anything besides kind of hopping on and following suit?
No, Clyde's going to let the animal do what the animal wants to do.
Boko will respectfully greet his creature. Just like, I guess, give it like a little bow or a nod, because you said they seem to have wise eyes.
They do,
right?
indeed.
Style.
And as you kind of give it a nod, you see the antenna on its head kind of flick in your direction as its eyes kind of slowly scan you.
Boko will just sort of remain in that sort of nodded, bowed position and wait for the creature's permission to mount it and take off or leap off the cliff.
Yeah, you kind of give it that moment, and it kind of, again, the eyes scan you for a second before it slides to the side and lets you step upon into its saddle. And kind of immediately as you do, it joins and rushes off the edge and joins into the formation with the others.
Boko's leg and arm split and just grip onto it with everything he has.
You're spidering
to this thing.
And it is indeed, there is a rush of wind as these creatures hit you and you pass into the air, kind of away from this small town and further out into Sarania.
So Roland only really knows how to work like a boat, so obviously the sails need to go out first before they can catch the wind. So he's trying to, like, while still firmly planted on the ground, get his mount to extend its wings to put the sails out.
Roll me an animal handling check.
No, not the edge yet. Just the wings. I need to make sure that they work.
Exactly that, and it just goes straight off. It doesn't even listen. It just pounces and hops straight off, and it just goes in a dive, and you just and then whoosh, as they stretch out and bring you back up into the sky.
Are these things vindictive enough to like let the dive go on for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
just to scare
100%, 100%.
How to Train Your Dragon, just toothless, like. Here we go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Cade waits till everyone jumps off, making sure everyone's like moving and going, and then we'll respectfully make eye contact with the creature, and then hop on and just dive right off, having a bunch of fun.
Absolutely. This is like, in some ways, it's almost second nature to Cade. As she climbs aboard and just launches off with the creature into an intense dive through the clouds as the wind rushes into her face. Her hair kind of blowing back, almost letting steam off of the ends, and it flies backwards and then scoops up in, kind of joining the others.
And then you hear Roland's scream floating up towards you.
A nice girly scream.
Oh, full out like Pippin. Like,
It's over.
And Again, it is bright and day here as the light cascades through the sky and the clouds nearby. Jasira, there is a lot of this that you can especially tell with your just natural wisdom that these creatures do on their own. They are trained, they are capable, and you kind of letting it lead its way, it knows to follow with the others, and immediately you just kind of coast off in as its wings outstretch and kind of lift you up off. Rather than diving off, you just kind of lift up into the skies.
That's what I was trying to do.
Well, mine
Orally.
did it better.
You all kind of floating in this loose grouping as you flap through, some more excited about the experience than others. But with each of these creatures, as they kind of float through, their heavy wings kind of keeping you aloft, there are two of these smaller antennae that are pointed back at you, and the two larger ones in front of that on the top of their head kind of slowly rotate out across in the front. And the captain kind of leads as she passes back beyond Sindri, guiding you all through from that direction. And it's maybe about an hour-long flight as you all are going. And before, again, the clouds start to break, and you see in the distance another set of structures. I would like for... Sindri's up in the front. Sindri, go and roll me a perception check.
Here, I will roll for him. Nicholas is in the garage.
Gotcha.
Yep. We are still packing.
Always.
In a month, I will probably be on video.
Do you have a bonus to
There's
perception?
a non-zero chance.
Yeah.
Do you have a bonus to perception?
I don't think I'm proficient.
Sindri has a
7.
+2 to perception.
So 9 total.
Ooh.
Alrighty. So Sindri, you are just kind of caught in this rush and doing twists and turns with your Usagi as you kind of float through. And it takes you a moment before you actually catch sight of what it is. And then suddenly this scene is upon you. This structure that rises out, not with a mountain or stone or an island, but on its own. This massive silver metal. These spires that twist and turn with each other into large circular shapes that just have etched carvings and runic symbols across them. There are massive sky ships and large winged creatures that float and fly all around, and at the base of one of these large spires is a enormous glass sphere, and the entire place is just this beautiful, elegant structure of wonder.
Oh, I like this one.
Are we going there? That looks cool. Do any of the runes look recognizable? Are they like dwarven runes or giant runes, or what kind of runes would I know?
Sindri, you look at them and you see aspects of primordial within them.
Ooh.
It's... in a way, it's almost like a billboard. As you kind of read through, it doesn't quite make sense at first because you're expecting magic and mysticism, but it's more just, in today's news, this happened down on the freeway. Very much just a general expression of information, but on these massive circular discs.
Huh. That's interesting. Are we going there? Is anyone near me?
Yeah, you're towards the front of this, and the captain kind of hears you and calls back, "We're headed a bit lower," and begins to pull her Usagi down, and the others kind of follow suit as you pass down beneath this city, kind of lower through the clouds, and still a structure of relative beauty, but not the metallic, twisting intricacy that was before. You now see the lower pieces that the spires of these bridges and of these connections are linked to, and it is a large red and blue mountain landscape beneath of this floating isle, and as the captain kind of weaves you through this large portion of the city, you do see down on this small ridge of the mountain, past where the metallic structures had kind of reached up to form the city proper, is a much smaller stone-like building. There's kind of a path along the ridge of the mountain up to a small kind of watchtower with a blue roof on this bright sandstone, and then further up is a much larger building with arches that kind of set up its core architecture.
Can we go to the other city? It looks prettier.
We're here for a purpose. Land down there. And she kind of points, and there's a small kind of circular carving at one of the base of this mountain edge here. And you can see a couple other winged creatures kind of tied up there, but they look very bird-like, just like large swans or pelicans with like the thick bills. And still throughout here, the clouds kind of cut through everything, kind of passing from one side to another. But the captain kind of lets down, and her Usada kind of steps off, and the others all slowly kind of set down nearby. And as she kind of swings off very gracefully, grabbing the lead and kind of handing off, there is an individual on the side here, dressed in these orangish robes with a bright blue sash, and he's kind of sitting cross-legged. He stands up, and he's seems to be human, but of a darker skin tone, and kind of steps forward. Good day. Allow me to watch after you, Usati. And holds out, and the captain just kind of hands him a small pouch, as well as the lead. We'll be in and out before too long. Is the oracle inside? And the man just sort of nods, and kind of holds a hand up this large stone staircase. The rest of you, as you all slowly step off of your creatures, the man comes and collects the lead and begins to guide them over to where there's some water and some food set out.
Looking over at Cade, does she have any idea what the hell is going on here? Or is she just as lost as we are?
She probably looks just as lost, if not even a bit more, in this situation because of how drastically different it is from her normal interactions with the captain.
Yeah, Cade is just like, just the look on her face is just like, I don't really know or understand. Like, she just looks completely and utterly lost. Like, WTF, Captain's not answering any questions. I mean, she's generally kind of a vague person, but like, nothing's being answered. Being randomly led through a gate that I never knew existed. I was demanded that I come, and it's just like, she's doing her best. It's just like, the fuck.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Makes me feel much worse.
Well, there's no going back.
I mean, we have the flying things. We can go back and explore the other town.
They took the fare from the captain. You gotta try and force one of these things to fly? I saw what happened.
I saw that dismount.
Yeah. I want to know what the hell's up with this oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the worst they could tell us? Oracle's always telling you the good things you want to hear, right? But
You will all be
sarcasm
eaten.
very well. And Clyde's going to start walking off towards the captain.
Yeah, and
You
the
will all
captain.
be eaten by bug birds,
I
or bear
I
birds.
didn't hear you.
The captain is already about 10 steps up on this stone staircase leading higher.
Right.
I'm just gonna absolutely
Right after.
follow her then.
Yeah, I guess let's go.
All right. As you all kind of follow
Yeah,
up.
Cade's about.
Yeah?
Oh, Cade's about like one step behind the captain.
Okay. Yeah, and these stairs, they're wide. They're probably about 8 feet wide, but on either side is just a sheer drop off through clouds and out of your vision as this narrowly winds up the ridge of this mountaintop. And the stone itself is this bright red-orange with tints of blue and streaks of some sort of blue mineral through it that is unfamiliar to anything that you've seen. It's a few hundred steps up before you reach this first kind of watchtower, and there you see numerous armed individuals kind of in this blue and black leather armor with helms and large crossbows that they all are carrying, but between their arms and their legs seems to be some sort of webbing.
They're flying squirrels.
You think we'll be able to grow wings too if we live here?
And upon closer inspection, they don't seem to be actual webbing. It's more like fabric that has been knitted and sewn together.
We can get
If you
wings.
ask, you might.
Sindri will go to the closest one of them that he sees.
Well, maybe not right now. Alright.
Like, do you have? Where'd you get the wings? Can I have wings?
The man kind of looks down at you, kind of his heavy gaze set upon you. Please just stick to the path,
Sindri stares
sir.
back, unblinking.
Please just stick to the path, sir. I'm just trying to do my job here.
Is that a yes?
Oh, tourists.
Sindri just stands there staring at him
Staring up.
with a big smile on his face.
The man just elevates his head and looks past you, just trying to pretend you're not there.
We're about to see who has the best cardio too, climbing all these stairs.
Oh, it's not Clyde. It's definitely not Clyde.
Probably not Jasira either. But
Clyde's gonna start flagging about 3/4 the way up.
who has the best con here? That's my guess.
Sindri.
And Clyde,
That explains a lot.
these stairs are certainly not made with halflings in mind.
No, exactly. It's okay.
Climb up!
Oh god. Why couldn't they have dropped us off at the top?
But yeah, as you
We're gonna do like Howard jumps, one-legged up each step.
as you guys have gotten to this checkpoint, there are a few kind of guards who are standing on either side of the path, and a man, again of this dark skin, his hair kind of white and short kempt, and lines that denote his age, as he steps forward again in those same kind of reddish orange robes, and he steps up towards the captain. Welcome to the seminary. All pilgrims can continue on through and maintain through the initial galleries and then must make their way back. And the captain just turns. I've got one of the oracle's tokens. I'll be needing to see him right away. And hands some sort of small icon over. The man, the elder man just kind of sort of nods upon receiving this and then kind of holds an arm, and the guards kind of step to the side as the captain continues further up the stairs.
Sindri's gonna lean next to Clyde since he's the only one whose ear he can actually lean to.
Clyde, if we've stopped, is bent over half.
Sindri will enjoy this because now he feels taller. So can you tell your guys' age by counting the wrinkles?
What?
You know, like trees, you can like count rings. I think that's what I've been told. Was that like wrinkles?
Point of order.
You know
Has
what
Sindri
trees
seen
are?
trees?
Sindri has seen trees. There were trees all over.
No. He saw rings in the shipwood in the decking.
There were also trees all over Port Crez, and he's seen some before when he was on the continent previously.
That is a strange looking mushroom.
Is that a rock?
It was one of the things the dwarves taught him before coming to the surface. Is trees.
There's these awful
rings.
things called trees. Cut them down every chance you get.
Throw them in the boats to stay out of the water.
Boko and Jasira, as you were kind of looking over at the structure, this small tower off to the side, as the captain begins to pass further up the stairs towards the larger building, you see that there are a couple of individuals within that building, just kind of talking and conversing or looking at things within there, and you see one kind of older man stepping out, thick, heavy, kind of canvas robes that look more like a traditional monk or clergyman that you may have seen in cities before. This one of paler skin with a long white goatee, kind of a balding head, and just kind of that circle of white hair around the edge. And he's slowly walking out of the building as so the captain and Cade and others are beginning to head further up the staircase here.
They don't have like arrow tattoos. Here, do they?
No, they do not.
Yeah, they're not in the avatar, right? Cool.
No,
it
they're
fits
not.
the vibe with all the hentais we've encountered so far.
But
Yeah.
Boko, you do see a chain around their neck, and on it is a small glass vial, and this one is empty upon this man.
Have I seen any that are full?
Currently, you have not. In fact, this is the first of these apparatuses that you have seen.
Interesting. If I do see any that are full, I'd like to try to take the chance to just identify what's in it at a glance, because I am proficient in alchemy.
Okay. Are you wanting to check out more of this building, or are you continuing up the stairs and just keeping an eye out for it in the future?
I'm noting it, but I also don't want to piss off Cade and get her in any trouble, so I'm gonna keep following. But I'm a little more interested in. Yes.
Yeah, Jasira's kind of just taking mental notes.
Okay.
But yes, we'll take note if I see any that have full, because that's an interesting custom to have.
But remember, we're exploring everything on the way back.
And as the rest of you continue further up these stairs, getting closer and closer to this large building at the tip of this mountainside, you can see as you get close to the door, that man who's been walking with you, the elder man in the robes, he stops for a moment and talks with another individual. This one, again, of that same darkened skin tone, but with bright white robes covered with like a blue ornamental vest and with a large staff in his hand. He looks much younger, kind of smooth skin, another bald face, and actually has this metallic armoring across his own robes. And you can see that he becomes, at least Cade, kind of towards the captain, you can see that he becomes visibly upset at what the man says and immediately kind of rushes in towards the building at a quick pace. As the man kind of turns and waits for you and the captain.
What was that all about?
Did you say something?
I did, yes. What was that all about?
What do you mean?
When I see people get upset, I like to know why, so that I don't increase the level of upset.
Oh, we figure out that for different reasons.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Because I'm so good at those.
Let your stats tell your story.
Ooh,
See?
-2. Yeah, it's are you
Fucking kidding me?
see?
Heyo.
Zoldrek is just confused. He was going to consult for more clarity. He was uncertain why individuals who have not been to the seminary before are being allowed passage within. But he is young and unfamiliar with some of our customs of older times.
Thank you very much. And see, that informs me in that I should not wander off from this group, because that would be quite offensive.
As you all enter the gallery, please do not wander through the seminary. It is an honor to be in this place. And there are many guards stationed throughout to ensure the protection of the Oracle. Ensure that you stay within the confines of the gallery and you all will be fine. My name is Arayu. If you need anything, please ask or contact me.
Noted. Arayu.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
He just gives a soft nod. And you all begin to.
Not how I was going to spell that.
Yeah. There's some extra letters there.
Ryu. Hadouken?
Yeah, that's exactly how I would spell it.
Arayu. But yes, as he gives you kind of this nod, you pass following the captain into this building. And immediately you enter this wide open air atmosphere as the wind of this plane is passing through. And you see multiple dais with glass casings over them. Multiple display cases of various shapes and sizes that kind of stretch out. And then at the far end, stairs that rise to another level and stairs that rise to yet another. And as you are walking the stairs from the first into the second, the captain kind of turns around to Cade and indirectly to all of you. I'm going to speak with you, Oracle. Please, wait here. I'll be back in shortly and we can return back home. And she kind of spins and immediately begins to walk further, kind of stepping up through the steps and into the third level. And these massive doors at the far end of this gallery begin to shift and open as there are a few guards there. And you can see the younger, bald, dark-skinned man is within, talking to some other figure who's seated upon a central chair within. And the captain begins to step forward. What are you all doing?
I came all this way for a fancy waiting room.
Are we close enough to catch anything that's being said?
So right now, again, there's kind of these three rooms of the gallery, and then there's that large door, and then the room where the Oracle is within. You guys are just on the edge of the first room of the gallery, so if you would like to, you can try and run up there and try and catch catch some of it. But currently, you guys are a ways off.
But they're leaving the doors open and everything like that?
The captain is approaching. She hasn't quite stepped through yet.
Okay. Yeah. Boko will just ask Cade, why was it so important that you were to come with if you are just going to wait here?
I have absolutely no idea what is going on. This is strange. I've never heard my mother mention of this place before, or I've never heard it. She does not say mother. Cade says captain. Cade's like, I have never heard the captain mention this place before. None of this. I don't know what any of this is. I don't know why she insisted that I come. She said that she didn't want me out of her sight. I don't know. She's hiding.
You're not going to learn anything sitting here. Best way to learn something, go that way. Go point off towards the Oracle. Nothing better to find a way than an Oracle.
Clyde's starting fires.
I've spied on her before, and I assure you it did not end well for me.
Why are you talking spying? It has to be part of the conversation. If it's supposed to involve you, then make it involve you. And Clyde's gonna start walking towards the door. Come on, you gotta talk to him. Brought you all this way.
Cade
Do you
seems
want this information
really,
secondhand?
Cade seems really hesitant, but kind of follows you.
That was pretty persuasive, I would think.
Nobody ever gets mad for you just joining in.
Oh, I assure you that is not true.
Player 3 has entered the game!
Boko's just gonna look at Cade as she turns to... Are you following Clyde?
Yeah, hesitantly.
Yeah, so it takes a few seconds for us to talk. and
Boko
start
just
walking.
quickly says to her, he says, "Something about this whole thing does not quite feel right to me, but I will respect your decisions, and I will do as you say for now. If you wish
None
to
of
come
this
away."
seems
Drunken
right.
dream
None of this
till
makes
halfway
sense.
through the trip with Willie. I'm not gonna lie with y'all.
What did Cade say?
Oh, none of this makes sense. I don't... This is weird. This is strange. This is not normal behavior.
If you wish us to stand at your side, we will. If you wish us to wait here, we will.
You see kind of Cade just like takes a second, and it's like she almost seems like she's psyching herself up, and then she like it's almost like a switch is flipped, and then it's like you could almost call it captain mode, and she kind of like straightens up and confidently strides forward.
Like mother, like daughter.
That's it. And Clyde will
Not that you're aware.
go the probably step or two in front of him as Cade gets this confidence to go forward.
Although, yeah, it's
yeah.
never been
Oh,
explicitly
yeah.
said, but the walk does look a little bit like Captain Stormfae.
Boko's gonna stay with Roland then. He's gonna move up to Roland, and he's just gonna say, lean in and whisper, he's gonna say, "Something about this does not feel right. I think we should be ready to make a quick escape." And Boko's gonna start looking and trying to clock any weapons on anybody in the room around him. He's not being aggressive in any way. He's just saying, like,
He's just giving the guard.
we need to get the
old
fuck out of here
eyeball.
pretty quick, yeah.
But
There,
who's gonna be a problem?
as you look around, there are multiple of these guards in that black and blue leather armor carrying crossbows, and they are all over the place. There are a half dozen at the door that you entered. There are a half dozen at the large door that the captain is walking through. There are guards on every single offshoot to other places of this building. There are easily a dozen eyes on you at any given time. And you look around and for the first time kind of take in this gallery, and all of these display cases you see are filled with beautiful and intriguing items of various shapes and sizes and purposes.
Oh, why'd you have to say that?
Oh, yeah,
In
Roland.
front of the rogue.
Yeah. Boko does not feel like getting shot again. So he's gonna make sure Roland doesn't steal anything.
What do you mean again? I've never hit you with the front end of the rifle.
I have been shot many times before. But yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. Did they take our weapons, or we...
They have not touched you or taken anything
It
from
says it says more about their capabilities that they didn't take our weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
you. And you will see numerous markings across the gallery in various languages that all essentially sum up to "do not touch or disturb the collection."
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, these are obviously not to be touched or disturbed. Roland is going to spend the time with Boko just, like, kind of, like, talking through different...
Those sticky fingers.
Roland does not have sticky fingers.
Yeah, I guess trying to make our time here as useful as possible. Boko's going to keep a very distinct eye out for any items that are made from materials that are familiar to him or very unfamiliar to him, and see if he can glean any of their capabilities based on the materials.
And just kind of, I don't know, providing cover for that inspection. Roland will be walking around with him, trying to talk, I guess, artificer stuff of like how stuff is created, how certain things would be made, like trying to gain knowledge above what the simple craft he was able to put into his rifle. And so they'd be going up and looking at display cases and talking through how would this be made, like what material is this made out of, that sort of thing, without disturbing it.
Mm-hmm.
We're spending quality time.
Yeah. And Roland is also trying to figure out how to make shit, because that interests him.
Yeah. If I can have, we'll have both Roland and Boko roll me a d20 here.
Could Boko just roll at advantage?
Nope.
Yep, there it is. I specified that I wasn't within melee of the items, so this is technically a ranged check.
I'm not touching anything.
You're so jumpy there, David.
Oh, wait. These might not be skill checks. These might be another table. Our DM loves tables.
I do love tables. So, Boko, the first thing that captures your attention is a small metal box. But out of this box, there is, on top of it, is a small cylinder with gears and intricate metal connections and a small handle. And the whole thing is elegant. But out of the other side is a large conch shell that just curls and then opens up into a massive opening on top of this box. And you can see a small placard next to it.
With a magical conch.
It says, Song of the Siren. The Song of the Siren is a mesmerizing magical music box. When activated, it emits an enchanting melody that captivates listeners, transporting them to a realm of enchantment and wonder. Its intricate design and intricate craftsmanship make it a cherished artifact, invoking a sense of longing and mystery to all who encounter its ethereal tunes.
If shit goes way south, this would be an interesting thing to know about.
Out of character, if shit went south enough for this to be something good to know about, then we're already dead.
And for David, or for Roland, rather.
No, that's a David roll. The 3 is a very David roll.
You move
And a Roland
over.
roll.
You move over, and you can see a longer display case, and within it, a very slim blade that almost opens up like a leaf towards the tip. And this one says, is titled Skunk. Warning: do not break the seals around this rare, beautiful, but ultimately cursed short sword. Whenever orcs of any kind or their blood come within a few meters of this sword, the handle emits a foul smell beyond anything ever encountered.
That sounds terrible.
It's like a reverse sting that just no one likes.
Makes you smell just like orc.
Just like
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Last previous
that's what it is.
owner.
It makes you unappealing so the orcs don't eat you.
The last owner was an orc. Total power move.
What is the thing? It was like someone had a story of like took a magic item and like one of the properties on it was that it glows in the presence of orcs, but they were playing an orc, and so they just had a weapon that was always glowing.
Other than that, I think me and David or me and Roland are behaving.
Yes, we are being very have.
Is anyone else taking a look at anything within the first level of the gallery?
Nothing
That
except
Oh,
implies there are
fantastic.
more levels of the gallery, and we were only told to restrict ourselves to the gallery, so if there are more levels, I would like to explore them.
Yeah, there are dozens of display cases across these 3 levels of the gallery before you get to the large double doors that the captain and Cade are currently approaching. And so as you...
Yeah, we were told to stay in the gallery.
Yeah, you were. And Boko and Roland, you are kind of scanning around, and Roland kind of seeing these steps, kind of intrigued, kind of steps up to the next level of the gallery, and you can go ahead and roll me another d20.
Ready for it to get to low.
Ooh, you're gonna find a sword that stinks when wielded by a person with one eye.
May I as well?
Hey, more than double.
Sure. Go for it.
More than double. Ooh.
Basically the same.
All right. So, Roland, you find you're drawn to a smaller display case. The first one that you kind of enter on your right that has a strange square-like object of what looks to be copper, but across it are various symbols and interlocking patterns on each of the cube's side. And you can see on this one is a small plaque that reads, "The Magnus key, a remarkable magical cube key holds immense significance and power. Crafted with intricate engravings and adorned with shimmering gemstones, it is believed to unlock hidden realms and gateways to other dimensions. Its mysterious origins and unique properties have made it a subject of fascination among scholars and adventurers alike. The Magnus key stands as a testament to the marvels and secrets that lie beyond our known reality." And for Boko, you step up,
Sticky fingers.
and your eyes immediately go towards a large blade. This one, a massive greatsword. Along
So now we know whose size means more to.
the hilt is this
Boko, the
dark
size queen.
This hilt is this dark metal with intricate carvings across it, and the blade looks like that of pure light blue glass, and just has these designs that cascade out from the hilt up the blade that seem to be etched within this glass, and it gives off this slight glow. And it says the Moonlight Greatsword. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, came from the tale of Seath the Scaleless, the pale white dragon who betrayed his own. Seath is the grandfather of sorcery, and this sword is imbued with his magic, which shall be unleashed as a wave of moonlight.
I'm not okay with
How
the
dare you
implications
stand where
this
he stood.
blade being here has.
How dare you?
Fortunately, no one in the party can wield it. Sindri, sit down. No one in the party can wield it.
Wait a second. Shit.
We're not proficient. Time for a level and fighter.
In the meantime, as
Sindri's
interest
got this.
has begun to surge throughout the gallery itself, Cade, you have kind of stepped in front of Clyde and nearly caught up to the captain. As the captain steps up, she holds this small coin. You can't quite make it out because it's so quick, but she holds the coin up to the guards who are there and steps through the door. And you can already hear the heated words that are coming out of this room from the younger man, just kind of cascading and flowing out. "How could you allow them to come here? We don't know who these people are. We don't just allow strangers to come into this place. It is dangerous beyond our control. What? I know this, you see, but I don't understand this." And then quickly his attention shifts and turns, seeing the captain, or rather hearing her shoes as they step across the tile. And Cade, as you arrive just after her, the guards kind of put and step to the side, kind of blocking your path, looking expectantly at you.
Cade kind of just like, shit. Hold on. Let me just need to check something real quick. I don't think I prepped that. Nope. Okay. Cade, bravado, confidence, gonna follow, figure out what the fuck's going on, and then as soon as is met by guards and resistance, kind of deflates a bit and just stands there staring. Does he make a move forward? No. Cade just stands there, not moving forward, not moving back, just kind of stares at the back of the captain.
Clyde says, "Hey,
with you.
We're with her." To the two guards or whoever's blocking her way.
We are here for the important meeting. This is Captain Cade.
Sindri or Clyde, who would ever like to, can make a persuasion check.
I vote it should be
Clyde. Please,
Clyde.
Sindri, he spoke last. You can have advantage from Clyde.
No, I
No.
don't like this.
No.
Alright. Hey.
I'll give you advantage.
That's not bad. That's not bad, man.
So as you kind of just call this out, and with the confidence, they're not quite looking at Cade, just kind of listening and looking, and Clyde, you just step forward and kind of give this push to Cade that she needs, and she kind of steps through, and they don't exactly move out of the way, but they don't seem to resist, and rather look past you up at the figures towards the front of this room. And as the captain steps forward, instantly you can see that the younger man of these two, is gazing down with this intensity at the captain, and now as you have entered as well, at you both in turn. And Cade, next to him, you see, despite all the elegance that is around this area, a man who looks fairly ordinary, like a typical monk may, but he is in these kind of basic drab, dark gray clothes, with this bright purple sash that wraps around his body and then up into this sort of turban that covers and lays heavy across his eyes. And there are 3 large silver circles that lie across the middle of this turban. And there is just this heavy white beard that hangs down his face, and you can see his dark skin from his exposed arm and hand, as he not necessarily looks at you because his eyes seem to be covered, but the presence that you feel of him just turned in your direction.
Yeah, no, Cade seems to have regained the backbone. Intuitive people can pick up a lot of, when it comes to the captain, Cade flinches and backs off, but when it comes to other people being, intense and imposing, Cade doesn't let that, intimidate her. So, upon getting a measured glare, or, measured look at her, she will in turn, give a measured look towards this seemingly, normal monk, and continue walking forward with a little bit more confidence now that Clyde's just pushed her through.
As you kind of go to step up, you suddenly feel the captain's hand just against your stomach, holding you there. And you look over to her, and there's a bit of trepidation that you see upon her. There's a bit of hesitancy that you had never noticed the captain to have before. And in this moment, you see as her face is kind of bent over in this reverence and respect to these individuals. Cascade.
Cade will follow suit. She was only trying to be very purposeful to the point of catching up to the captain, not like charging up towards these individuals that she doesn't know. So kind of like taking lead and measure of the situation. Cade will give kind of a curt like deference of like, this is obviously your place, and I am merely a visitor, so I will act accordingly.
Cascade, this is the Oracle of Kaylee, Hotera, and the High Wind Spike, Zoldrick. The High Wind Spike, as he is referred, or Zoldrick, the younger man, kind of steps forward, his staff outstretched as he turns. Do you all know no patience? Please wait outside while we are done this talking. Come now, Zoldrick. Is that any way to greet an old friend? Azalea, it is good to see you. The Oracle kind of calls out this greeting to the captain. And as Zoldrick, there's a moment of confusion on his face, and Cade, there is also a moment where this reverence then turns into a smile as the captain seems to elevate once again. I had hoped it hadn't been too long.
Cade's not surprised.
I had hoped it hadn't been too long. I apologize for not announcing ourselves before we could come, but it is urgent. Cascade, would you mind waiting outside? We will discuss and be done shortly.
Cade kind of... You see there's like a little pause, and it's just... No. You dragged me here. You said I was not to leave your sight. I think it's about time I heard what's going on.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh god. Ah! Oh, yeah. I guess we could... There needs to be, like, a will check. That's what I really want this to be. It's not persuading. It's just Cade trying to be willful. Here we go. Persuasion.
And I will say...
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna use my inspiration on this.
Okay, and if you would like to, you can roll it using wisdom instead. If you would like to put a bit of willpower into this.
Yes, I would like that. Okay, if that was a wisdom, it would have been 15, but I am going to use my inspiration to see if I can get it higher.
Okay.
Nope. The 15 was as good as it got. Cade's still hesitant. This is the first time she has ever stood up to the captain, but she's standing up.
Cade, you're expecting what you always got. The answer is no, because I said so. Now get out. Stop talking back to me. But that's not what you get here. You look over and you see her looking at you, and there is this longing in her eyes, this pleading. For the first time, you don't have the willpower behind what you were saying, but you don't see this indomitable force before you. You see a person, and she looks at you with this softness in her face. Please, Cade. This conversation needs to happen in private. I promise you there will be a time and a place to answer all your questions, but it's not yet. There's not enough time for it right now, and time is critical.
I want your word. Give me your word that you will tell me what is happening.
All right. Right now we've got to solve what's going on, and then we've got to get back for the draw. After that, you will be on the first ship sailing towards the continent. And whether I am on that ship or whether we need to converse via some sort of magic, once you are safe on the continent, I will answer all the questions that you have.
Before I leave. Not after, before.
Roll me another persuasion check. This one's still using charisma.
Come on, dice. She's trying to stand up to the captain. Nope.
In that moment,
I can't stand up to the captain.
in that moment, the demeanor has returned, and seeing you give a bit, that presence comes back, and that intensity returns. This is the best you're going to get, Cade. You will either be escorted out of here or you can leave. I've promised you answers. You should take it.
All you ask, you take and you take and you don't ever give. It's a wonder anyone has stayed around long enough. And Cade will turn around very promptly and walk off.
As you turn and walk, Clyde, you kind of stepping beside, and Sindri as well, both flanking her as she leaves. The large, heavy doors begin to close behind her.
Sindri will wave behind him and say, "Nice meeting everyone."
Read the room.
I imagine that made the captain cringe so hard.
It's the little things.
He levitated off the floor 6 inches by sheer force of cringe alone.
Cade does not stop once she leaves the room. She continues out, down the stairs, back to the birds. And just as she passes by everyone, I'll be back in a bit. And that's it. That's all she says. She just keeps walking down towards the bear birds.
Okay. As Cade kind of steps off to get some air, the rest of you are left within this gallery. Jasira, you had been remaining towards the bottom with Theschault, as Boko and Roland had kind of skipped off gleefully to explore the gallery. What are the two of you doing?
I would think just kind of looking around at the different display cases they have.
Roll me a d20, Jasira.
Keep an idol, I suppose. Let's see. We already rolled that, didn't we?
Yep, go ahead and roll another one.
Yeah, let's do something more. Let's do something different.
1.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I love a good story. Jasira, as you step over to the side, within a rectangular display case, you see elevated on a stand a novel, leather bound in thick binding. And you can see various colors, that of the blue of winter and the green of autumn, the red of summer and the yellow of spring. And behind it,
and I missed it.
Behind these
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
dark, jagged, black lines. And across these lines, you see 4 figures, each matching the 4 colors, and above them a regal figure with these black lines down their face. On the small placard, you see First Edition, Reign of the Machine Knights by Nova Scott.
Oh my god.
Can she read? Sorry, I decided to lift her shit right now. Okay. So is it like open or is it just a cover?
It is within a glass display case.
Yeah. Is there like a synopsis somewhere that she can read?
Yeah, within the title, underneath, it says, "This is the story of a group of adventurers who battled against the great machine knights to recapture a lost realm."
Well, if anyone's nearby, I would probably point out the book, but if everyone's upstairs, she'll just kind of nod and say, "That sounds interesting."
Yeah, Roland and Boko have kind of passed off, but Theschault is still down there next to you.
Hey, Theschault, do you read books?
It kind of depends on what kind of book. I suppose I could find myself reading one. Why do you ask?
This one has a really pretty cover. Sounds interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm always one for not judging books by the cover, but this one is quite nice if I were to be a judge.
Yeah, I think the colors were what really drew me in. It has the different, like, the green and the yellow. I don't know. Very bright.
Well, I'd certainly take
in-
a peek at it if you're offering.
I bet it's pretty epic, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, it is within a glass case here. This is a gallery or a museum.
That's right. Well, just taking a look at it, just kind of looking at the cover, just
get a piece of wire, drill a hole in the.
No, goodness, no. Why would I want to steal this book?
No. Just the flip it, you can read
what's
it.
up?
You missed the item that I found upstairs. It was a little-known artifact called the Moonlight Greatsword, once wielded by Cade the Scaleless.
Oh my god.
I'm not okay with the implications that artifact being in this universe has.
Yeah, and...
It's pretty great.
And
that's exciting. I also have been told that there were some wide stairs.
Oh yeah, and the sheer drop-offs.
8 feet?
Whoop, wow.
Yeah, 8 feet wide.
And
yeah, all right.
Theschault, next to this tome, you also see a tall silk top hat. And on the placard is Tatori's top hat. Certainly a sign of ultimate evil.
How interesting. How in the world would just a top hat be a tip-off to something like that?
It just is. It's the universal language.
How did they know?
They're gonna know.
Sindri and Clyde, you guys are coming from the top floor of the gallery, coming down. Is there anything that you two are doing after seeing Cade's exit?
No. Clyde's gonna wait for the captain to come out.
Okay. And Sindri?
So there's guards.
Great sword.
Yes, there are multiple guards and multiple signs in multiple languages that all say, do not touch the glass.
What if I don't touch it?
These signs won't stop me because I can't read.
Can we do like a thieves tools check and wait until I get a crit and then he can cloud rune the the steel check from,
you're gonna have a fake lock. You're gonna have like all right.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think it only works on attack rolls.
Well, let's hack the lock. It'll be fine.
We'll just make sure we come here after the Sky Hentai arrive and just clean up all the relics.
Do the guards have like the wing things like from earlier?
Yes, all of them have those suits.
Okay, Sindri will continue going around asking them about where he can get some and try very annoyingly to get answers.
I love this idea. Clyde's going to give Sindri some bardic inspiration. He loves the idea of Sindri plummeting, trying to think he can fly.
Tries to fly like a Sack of rocks.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check when you get a second, Sindri.
Hey, everything has a fly speed until it hits the ground.
That fly speed is just limited.
I guess at a certain point, the 9.81 meters per second squared does get limited by air resistance, but...
So 12.
You continue to try and, or are you using your bardic inspiration on this?
Yeah, I was saying, you have a D4 if you want it.
Oh, is it a D4 still?
Isn't it?
You know, it should be a D6. It's never a
D6
D4. It's a D6
Oh, okay.
is the lowest.
Yeah, I thought so.
Then I'm just crazy. That's fine.
14.
Alright,
Yeah.
so that's a 14.
You continue to talk through, and multiple of them try to ignore you, and eventually one of them is like, "It's just standard guard equipment. Can you please just leave us alone?"
Oh, that's cool. How do you become a guard? Does it pay well?
That person is going to take his wings off and throw himself off the edge.
Hey,
The best Sindri gets the wings.
No, it's even
Yeah.
it just comes out of my paycheck. It's worth it. Just leave it the fuck alone.
It's actually an extensive, rigorous training process with a lot of intense knowledge assessment at the end. It's very prestigious, and it pays well.
That sounds fine. How do I enroll?
You also
How long
have to
does
be
it
able to
take?
swim.
I'm only here for like the day.
I don't
that a
think
problem?
that's enough time.
What if I could convince them for 2 days?
You'd have to go and inquire in Kalex,
Where's that?
the city above.
I did want to go to the city above. Ooh. This is great. Everything's coming together. Thank you. How much? Is it possible to buy them without doing the training?
No.
Why not?
I have no idea. Probably because they don't want people flying around.
Could you sell me yours?
No.
I'd give you $1.
Man, I'm just trying to do my job. Just leave me
Are
alone.
you sure?
It's been a long week already.
Alright.
I'll wrestle you for it.
It's like some sort of webbing fabric between them.
Is anyone else doing anything within the gallery?
Are the wings made of cloth or leather?
They're not made of leather, and they don't look like they're made of cloth. But you're not. It's some sort of semi-translucent material.
Oh, almost like a dragonfly's wing.
Kinda, yeah.
Stone. Made out of gems. The only explanation.
Roland would have seen Cade storm out, and then, even with the "I'll be right back," he's gonna kind of look around at the rest of them and, like, just awkward eye contact with everyone, and then kind of shrug and start heading towards the door after her.
Okay. You see her kind of walking down the stairs, but you're not too far behind.
Yeah. He'll follow quietly. He's not like running after her going, "Cade, wait up!"
Yeah,
He's
absolutely. Cade, where are you headed?
Straight to the bear birds, and Cade will actually just hop on one and fly off.
Oh shit. Maybe I should have gone screaming, "Cade, wait up."
So yeah, you see that.
As she swings into the saddle, he will actually raise a hand and be like, Skeeter.
Are you waiting there, Roland?
Are you gonna jump
Jasira
off
followed?
expecting Cade to catch you? I like the second option.
Jasira followed me.
Here you drive, Roland's
There we
gonna
go.
ride, bitch.
She's at least outside. Maybe not quite at the entrance to the gallery, but not all the way down all of those steps. I don't think she
No.
tried to keep up. She wasn't like rushing.
Well, hey, he's gonna like start towards the Usati and then like look off and see like where she's going, because if she just went like one rock over, that's gonna be awkward. But then like start back towards the Usati and then look back again, and he's very undecided at the moment.
Okay. So as Cade begins to fly off and Roland kind of looking back and forth, Cade, I assume you're just kind of getting out there, not stopping anywhere nearby.
Nope,
And
just
Roland is getting
going off.
on Roland's climbing onto a bear bird.
All right. Roland, I would like you to roll me an animal handling here check, and you will have advantage. But this is to try and get your intent to catch up enough with Cade to keep an eye on her before she passes into the clouds.
It's not gonna be enough, man. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, you know what? I believe.
Too shabby.
Yeah, no, I guess he learns quickly, so he will just swing into the saddle, just be like, they have to fall before they can fly.
Again, yeah, and again, these things are well-trained creatures. It's just about imposing your will on what you want them to do, especially when they can't just follow in a pack. And so pulling them away from their other group to kind of go off on their own, you need this will, and you kind of make that decisive moment there, and the creature, the Usati, does pick up on it, and you pick up into the air and don't quite catch her, but are following at a point where you can still see her as you guys begin to weave through the clouds.
Yep, let's go.
In the meantime, yeah?
Oh, I will say that, like, it starts off as normal flying. It gets a little more crazy as, like, more open air.
Does it start raining underneath Cade? Just a little bit.
Cade starts doing spirals, and like you can see that there's probably a little bit of like she's deflecting anger by doing dangerous things.
I just for this chase sequence, I just need the scene from the like Johnny English movie where like the guy is doing all this intense parkour over rooftops and Johnny English is just following and like takes the elevator and then walks out the floor.
We'll get to that in just a moment, actually. So Clyde, you're kind of waiting for the captain. Sindri is going through and talking to the guards. Jasira's kind of slowly gone down the steps. Boko, you were the last one kind of within this gallery. What are you doing?
Still kind of looking around at all the interesting things, and
I guess the Theschault is still here as well.
The captain. Oh, it's just me and the Theschault?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna rush over to the Theschault.
This changes everything.
I was way too excited.
Boko is going to approach the Theschault, and he's going to say, I don't even know what the hell to call it. You are familiar with the whatever it is that we rode over here on, right? The giant metal with the balloon, and I want to make one.
I would assume I'd be fairly familiar with that, right? That seems like
Both you and Boko had been very interested in looking at all of the details that you could at least observe of this craft, as it is certainly something that neither of you had ever seen before.
I mean, admittedly, I would probably make it a little more sturdy, but yeah, that seems like something that's quite interesting. You're wanting to make one yourself?
Well, I was hoping you would help.
Well, I certainly would have a hard time saying no to something like that.
I have taken some notes.
And Boko will open up his arm where he's just stuffed like a bunch of paper into his arm that's just like that scene from what is it? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where the guy's got the huge board of shit and he's just like one of those things is Roland's map that has been flipped around and scribbled on the backside.
Hey,
and they are
to the you have not stolen my map. You did not specify that.
It was in my bag of holding, and it was a paper object that I could write upon. So,
wait, why was that in your bag of holding?
Because you stuffed it in my bag of holding.
When?
I listened to the recap and you put it in my bag of holding.
What was it?
Scroll?
Yeah, the scroll.
The
It was the
massive
scroll
that
you stole off
pickpocketed
of. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we probably should have checked what that was during the airship ride.
Might have been a little conspicuous. Pull
That
out.
was definitely magical.
Is that what
Hey,
you're,
it's
is that
fine.
what you're
It's
pulling out right now,
informational
Boko?
No, it's in his arm. It's pasted on the inside. It's flipped around because the other side is blank, right?
So the scroll that he stuffed in is like massive. Like it is chunky. Like it's not something that's gonna fit in your arm.
Like you have to wear it like on
I
your
thought
back.
it was like map size.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's like
No.
it's
It
probably
is-
like
it
a
is
foot.
map-sized when rolled up.
Yeah, it's probably like a foot and a half, like long, but it's like 8 inches diameter. Like it is large.
Mamma mia! That's a big scroll.
Well, I'm not pulling that out. I will just show Theschault what I have already drawn.
Yep.
And it's basically just equates to like certain mechanisms and their dimensions and components, and then other things, it's just a drawing of it with a giant question mark next to it.
I'll look over the notes, got taken aback. Well, it's rather unconventional from any other note-taking methods I've seen, but it's certainly effective, it seems. As I just reach out and, like, kind of take a look at a couple of the pieces of paper. Alright, so it looks like you've done a lot of the preliminary work. If you were to estimate how long you think it might take to build one of these, and what would we need?
I have no idea.
I think I tell you right now, I could probably figure out how to do the flight mechanism. As far as everything else goes, we have to figure out how to make it into, well, not only something that can carry people, but something that would be able to carry folks and stay in flight with relative ease. So, all in the counterbalance, I think that we could probably utilize steam tech for this. Something or other, at least to feed some hydraulic mechanism.
Yes, also, the Condor is made of various pieces of metal, which weigh quite a significant amount. Organics would be much more suited to be in the air. Don't you agree?
I am just...
This is how we get sky hentai.
I just imagine like this huge rib cage with a balloon attached to it.
Boko standing
feel
proudly
like-
on the prow.
I'm thinking about this multiple different ways, and I must admit, not a single one of them isn't slightly creepy. However, I do think that it's probably effective.
Yes, something I think we should work on.
Well, I'm down.
And that's probably, we'll just probably nerd out about that a little bit until the captain comes out.
In the meantime, Cade, as you are kind of spinning and moving through the air here, can I get an animal handling check at advantage from you?
Watch Cade fall off because it has not been my night for rolling.
No, I believe.
This will be the one. Can't stand up to the captain, but I can handle an animal.
Cade's eyes are closed, not because she's crying.
Yeah, passing your angst onto this creature.
I hope not. I need like one good roll tonight.
Hey!
Yeah.
I didn't mean to click twice, but the 20 counts.
Roland, you just watch in part amazement as Cade just has this natural affinity for this creature and begins to glide it, moving it up into barrel rolls and dropping it down into dives, and you're kind of floating behind. You don't need to do anything crazy to keep up. She's not pushing the animal further, but what she's capable of
this
doing...
isn't a street chase. She's doing all this down here, and I'm just going, yep, still there.
Exactly. And it's impressive. And it actually gives you a moment where your Usagi begins to close the gap slightly. Is there anything that you're doing, or are you just following along?
Just following.
So, Cade, as the minutes pass...
Keeping sight of her, keeping sight of the, where we came from, if I can.
Yeah, it is very quickly that where you came from disperses into the clouds, and you all are just left in this kind of sky environment.
Oh,
Well,
But-
let's hope Cade knows her way back.
It's all been in a general singular direction. At least your path has been. And Cade, as the
Okay,
minutes
cool. Then
pass...
He'll keep that cardinal direction as she's doing all the whipping and whirling, and he'll try and keep the heading.
Yeah, and Cade, you do notice as Roland is behind you, but you kind of continue pushing forward, and he doesn't seem to be closing in. But the minutes pass, 10, 20, 30. How long are you staying out?
I'd say like after half an hour of just like doing ludicrous things that you probably shouldn't be doing in the sky, she'll just find like a floating rock to stop on.
Ludicrous speed.
Yeah, and there are a handful out here that you kind of pass by. Some of them no bigger than your fist, but some of them within 20 to 50 diameter across, just kind of floating, hovering where they are. And Roland, you kind of
land
see
on
her.
one, and it's Indiana Jones moment of.
Now it seems as she kind of brings Usagi and it kind of steps off onto it, it kind of twists slightly and adjusts its trajectory, but it seems to be held there somehow. And she kind of steps off and sits down. Roland, what are you doing?
I'll take a beat, one lap, to kind of like announce my presence from a distance, and then circle in and land.
Is there anything that you're saying to her as you approach, or are you just sitting down next to her?
Not quite next to her, just like out of melee.
That only protects her, it doesn't protect you.
But just kind of like sit down and go, so Clyde can get overconfident.
Not mad at Clyde. Just more of the same old bullshit.
I'm familiar. But same old bullshit or not, it's the same old bullshit that that we all came here for you. Figured you shouldn't be out on your own in a strange place. I was hoping
Been alone
more people
before.
would follow me, but Jasira made it halfway, and then
Cade kind of half chuckles at that.
there was
Been alone
something
before.
that was mentioned about, wandering off on your own, and then you getting your rear handed to you by your captain. A lot of pressure.
It's nothing new. She doesn't ever like to explain herself, provide any information, whether it is relevant to your life or not, even if it's something that you really should be able to know and should be able to get a clear answer. But no, unless she feels like it, she doesn't ever tell you anything, which is part of the reason that I left in the first place, to find answers for my own. And it all comes crashing back, a few months away, kind of clears your head, kind of forget about it, and then, it just comes crashing right back.
Well, if this is crashing, I'll take it over mine.
Oh, I've done worse. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, not to... Yeah. If you need help getting answers, there's a lot of smart people in this group.
Allegedly.
It's not something of a matter of intelligence. It's more like tracking someone down. Hence my journey in the first place.
I will still say that there are a lot of smart people in this group for that. You've got, I have tracked a person or two down in my time. You can see his face kind of go a bit blank as he says that. And then we've got, Mr. Boko with his voodoo.
He's certainly interesting. I don't know.
Figure it out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Oh, Boko, I honestly don't know. I don't know. Question mark? Just put it above his head and that's about accurate?
He seems like someone who understands gears, but then you put... Like, he doesn't work with gears at all. Theschault is the one who works with gears, but then calls it steam, and Boko looks like he should understand gears, but works with flesh. That sounded really weird, but he's really weird. It just...
That leg, right? That leg.
I need someone who knows gears. They're too fancy. I'm trying to start small.
We forgot about the third craftsman of the group.
Only good with hammers.
Who's great with metalwork and stone.
Oh, it's just a conscious choice. Absolute last effort. Maybe Boko will come around. Maybe he'll stop being weird and figure out, like, gears some point.
I like how
Sindri in the corner
like,
crafting something out of metal and gears.
like one of the main times we split the one of the first times we split the party, and they look at each other and go, "What the fuck is up with that guy?"
What
Like,
the fuck
Pogo's
is
a
up
weird
with that?
dude, isn't he? Oh, I'm still waiting to tell off the captain. Clyde is... How long has Clyde been able to just sit here and simmer?
It's been 30 minutes at this point.
Oh, good. Clyde's good at getting himself worked up into a tizzy.
But Roland and Cade, was there anything else?
Yeah. No pressure to talk about anything, but again, we all literally left the world we knew, and he's looking around at the floating rocks. Because you had something that needed doing. We're here.
She had something that needed doing. And I, like a good little girl, just followed along, because that's what she said to do, and old habits die hard.
Well, when you go somewhere, we help you with what needs doing.
No, I appreciate that. You have all been proven to be very competent, which I assure you can be hard to find sometimes.
It is.
I just want you to know, I'm not always a stick in the mud, you know. I've learned to act a certain way when others are watching, and I do not know them. You put on a face, and it makes people respect you. It makes them recognize you, and it puts them at a distance. And distance is safe.
Putting on a face to generate respect and keep people at a distance. I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, of course not. I snuck into a dragon's lair one time.
I find that.
And Cade kind of like gives you a side glance, like a half smile, wanting to see what your reaction is.
I find that hard to believe unless the dragon was gone.
He was asleep. I snuck in with a friend.
Tiago.
No, actually. You don't know her. Haven't met her. Haven't seen her in a while either. Parted terms, she's on another boat. We made off with quite a lot of gold. Got my ass chewed out when I got back. Tiago secretly, congratulated me. And, of course, when I was put to bed without supper, he snuck me some bread.
Put to bed without supper.
Oh, and, wash the deck for the next month, every single thing of scut duty you could ever think of. Let's see, scut duty, that was for 6 months. And then there was that, nope. It was well worth it though, it was fun. You can only get into mischief when she's not looking, though.
I only ever went on one raid.
Not your cup of tea?
Yes and no. I'm good at it. Believe it or not. The planning part.
I believe it.
I found the site on a map. I plotted the course. I took us there. I caused murder and mayhem with the best of them. There was no point. Sure, we walked out a bit richer, but it was a net loss to the world. There has to be a better way.
Perhaps. And you see Cade kind of like... It's just a moment of indecision, and it's a split second. And then you kind of see her kind of assess you, and then just ask, what do you know of Valinor?
Valinor?
You can roll a history check if you need.
I'm going to roll a Control F check first before I nat one that. Well, nice. I'll go for the history check. Oh, it shouldn't have been advantage. But the 18 was first.
Nice.
Valinor is far from anywhere.
Books.
Yeah. Valinor is far from anywhere where you've been. But you know the history. You know the story of it. How it was once a part of the nation of Sire long before the last war. And how whenever Sire was in need of allies, they had brought in these elves from another continent who were skilled warriors and mercenaries. And they came in and assisted them quite successfully, but then took a sizable portion of Sire's territory for their own and claimed it a territory all to themselves. And these elvish warlords, these skilled swordsmen and horsemen. Especially during the last war, no one would think to come and stand against them. No one could. They didn't have the resources. They were known as the Valinar elves, and they named the country after themselves, but more commonly known as Sun Elves, due to their bright skin and bright hair. The Valinar, they have longer ears, stand taller than elves, and have a regal obstinance about them, where they do indeed believe themselves to be better than all those around them, and unless you prove differently upon the field of battle, they don't respect anyone else. A subrace of the High Elves, they are exquisitely talented in nearly everything that they try to do, and the Valinar in particular apply themselves to war. And when the last war ended, they sought out the only entities that they believed were strong enough to give them a challenge. Each other. And so the Valinar formed different war bands and began to raid and attack and live a nomadic lifestyle. And there were some cities that formed in Valinar, but for the vast majority, they were these roving war bands of horsemen that kept themselves in check, and most other nations tended to try and ignore as much as they could. For the warriors themselves were nearly unmatched in any other regard. But for the most part, the country has been relatively isolated, outside of a few who dare to tread through the Talenta Plains to interact with these elves. The rest of the country is bordered by the moorland and by ocean, and does not see much trade or traffic. For the most part, Valinar is tried to be forgotten about as much as possible.
So, all of that, just like the Rolodex goes through Roland's head at the mention of the name, but it just like 2 blinks and then goes, Valinar, yes, Elvish country. Stuffy insufferable lot. I think they're better than everyone at everything, but it's easy to be good at something when you have an extra few hundred years to practice.
That's where I want to go. That's where I was headed before I was so rudely thrown off course.
Okay, I've underestimated how controlling your captain was. If that country is preferable.
The high seas are dangerous. And obviously there's another danger lurking that she wants me completely in the dark about.
The sea...
Which is funny because I've literally been on her boat and doing raiding parties since I was old enough to stand.
What was the thing that we heard about in Port Crez? The sea dragons, the massive ships.
Ships of war.
That's a different problem.
Colors.
That's a different problem. Oh, okay, lovely.
She's not concerned about that one. At least not as concerned.
So there's something worse than the apocalypse.
What? I mean, that's just pirate apocalypse, and eventually pirates will get a sea dragon, and then it's just bigger ship on bigger ship.
The sea dragons are the well-constructed entities. They're going after the pirates, make the trade and the seafare safer. There's plenty of crews out there that will oppose it. Whether that's their downfall or not, I'm not sure. But whatever has the captain nervous. It's bigger than that.
And she wants you on land.
Evidently.
Because whatever is bigger than what the rest of the pirates think is the end of their kind is coming for you.
Perhaps, I don't know, because I'm never told anything.
Logical deduction.
I don't know. I'll admit, I've never seen her this anxious.
Exactly.
Is it really so hard just to be honest? You know what? No, never mind. I didn't mean to ask that question. I know the answer.
Yes, it is. Do you think anyone in this group has been entirely honest? Aside from Sindri?
No, of course not. But she doesn't say anything. She doesn't speak of anything. She doesn't tell me anything. Hell, the whole reason I'm going on this journey is because she won't fucking tell me one of the most important things about my own life. I don't know. I just...
What's Cade's passive perception? Or not passive insight, out of curiosity?
My passive perception is 16, so... Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, so insight would be likewise.
Yeah, he catches at the mention of not being told the most important thing in your life. By authority figures. I won't jab at the Freudian slip earlier. He catches visibly.
You know it's my birthday coming up.
Is it?
Hmm? That I actually do know. One piece of information I am actually aware about.
So you'll finally be able to legally drink.
I'm pretty sure I've been drinking since I was capable of holding a mug. I'm young, not that young.
Speaking of the captain getting anxious about you, though, should we be headed back?
Little worry.
Okay. Up to you.
Although I feel bad about... Oh, no, I don't feel that bad. Probably shouldn't leave Sindri alone. He's probably harassing the gods right now.
He's on a giant rock with no water in sight. He's having the time of his life. Of course, the reason why there's no water in sight is because we're too far above it, or it's just to fall into an infinite void.
Yeah, actually, I was a bit curious about that, but I didn't want to go down for long enough to find out. But I am kind of curious if there's water below us or just nothing.
Well, this is the plane of air.
I'm betting air is probably the answer.
Would be a smart bet.
I suppose we should head back.
Might be wise.
I probably sufficiently pissed her off enough. Considering we took 30 minutes to get here, I think I'll just fly nice and slow back. So maybe take us 45 minutes. Probably should be done discussing things that probably involve me, but she's not going to tell me until I'm long gone. Okay, weigh in roughly maybe like half an hour of annoying time to piss her off. Seems about right.
You like playing with fire, don't you? I guess it's hard for water to get burned.
And honestly, this is probably maybe the first time you've like seen this, but there is a bit of like a cocky smile, and it odd enough, like you might cringe, but it probably reminds you a little bit of just like very self-assured, like pirate cockiness.
There is a matching smile on Roland's face, but it is much more the sad variety of, like, you can still see the burn up the entire side of his face. So
yeah. Come on, let's go. Like I said, probably we'll have pissed her off enough by the time we get back.
I'm good with the slow flight, though.
You just need to be confident. They know their intentions. They're very intelligent.
Yes, it can smell my fear. Thank you so much for the help.
Just be at ease.
People weighing into the saddle and still be kind of like bound up and just be like, they have to fall before they can fly. Hit. And we'll take it over the edge.
As you two begin to soar back towards the seminary, Boko and Theschault have been sharing different thoughts and ideas back between each other. And Boko said something catches your eye. You see on one of the displays, you're not sure what it was, but you focus in, and looking across, you see this statue of two figures. One on the ground, one above. One through this portal that seems to have come not through the glass, but from beneath the pedestal itself. And as they tucked it in this cloak, almost made of clouds, their piercing blue eyes, they just lifted a finger up to their lips before seeming to disperse and disappear from your vision as you kind of shook your head, unsure of exactly what you saw.
Boko is going to casually sort of stroll by and see if he can read the little placard on that display case.
You begin to step forward, kind of looking, and you can see upon the placard the needle of conviction. And you kind of take a step closer to get and see the words, and then suddenly you feel just a tight pull on the edge of your cloak, and you turn around, and there is suddenly a crashing sound as one of the glass displays gets pulled and tumbles to the ground, shattering, dumping the artifact out, and instantly there is a wave of energy, and everything for you freezes in this moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like a shudder, the world comes back to you as you and Theschault are both suddenly surrounded by these guards, all pointed crossbows at you, all aimed directly, now surrounding you, and you can see the figure, that young, bald-headed man stepping out with the staff, kind of pulling Clyde along by the scruff of his neck. And that is where we're gonna go ahead and end for this week and pick up next week.
I had so many choice words for Captain.
I'm sure you'll be able to direct many of them.
No.
But
there was a good chance for reconciliation, for good familial development.
Oh, something's gonna be reconciled.
There may certainly be some more time for that, but we will get to that next week. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you then.